Hello and welcome back to my garage here in Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. I have some stuff here that I was looking forward to showing off. I went to the Junkyard a few times looking for anything interesting, and I did buy a few cars. One of these did come from my storage. I am absolutely determined to not put anything into the storage at this point, unless it's a car that I intend to keep. So I only bought a few cars to basically fill up this portion of the garage. So this F350 I actually had in storage, and I bought this. This is a Dodge Ram 3500, and I bought this because I have a nagging suspicion that this truck is the longest of the three DLC trucks that you can get in the game. Because I verified that the F150 is about a foot shorter than the F350. And I've also been able to determine that this thing is longer than that thing by about 6 inches, I think. And you can tell by, if you look at this line right here in this seam in the concrete where it runs directly under the rear bumper, and turn around and follow this, and the rear bumper is here. So that's definitely longer bed. This seam is just forward of the tire, and this seam is just behind the tire. Then if you come to the front, where this seam is directly in front of the tire, and this seam is a tiny bit in front of the tire as well. Well, this is a little bit more in front of the tire. The bumpers look roughly the same distance, about half the length of this particular concrete square. So the Dodge Ram is by far the longest and largest of the pickup trucks available as DLC vehicles. Now, I have one other thing to test really, because this F350 is the two-wheel drive variant, and I haven't found it's weird because the earlier ones of these I did were actually the four-wheel drive variant, and then all of a sudden I started finding these two-wheel drive ones. So I do have another of the Dodge Ram 3500s in storage, and I'm going to hang on to it until I come across another F350, and then I can build them both out, and then I will have my final definitive answer as to which is the biggest of the pickup trucks available in the game currently. So with that said, I can get rid of these, and they're both about the same value as well. This one is $257,000. And this one is $247,000. So the Ford is actually about $10,000 more. And then this car I found in the junkyard, and I went ahead and bought it because I can't leave a Porsche 959 behind. This is one of my favorite cars to work on. It's a personal favorite of mine. I really enjoy collecting these and selling them. I do have one that I kept for myself a while ago, so I don't feel bad about selling them now. I mean, I could accumulate all of the ones I find, but it doesn't really mean anything in this game, since it's random. There aren't a limited number to be had in the game, so I pick these up and rebuild them and sell them just for the pleasure of working on the Porsche 959. Plus, it's $1 million car, so nothing to sneeze at. 1.38 million, in fact. And that brings us to these over here. Now, both of these I found in the junkyard. This is a Shelby GT350, but this one is a GT350 wide body. And I am not certain if I have worked on one of these before. I've worked on several variants of the Shelby, but I don't remember working on this one. So I think I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. This is actually a Chevy Colorado. The first one of these I found, you may remember, I found in the auction house, and it wasn't 100% condition, but it was in really good shape to begin with. This one I found in the junkyard, and it's a ZR2 Road King, which is a different variant than the other one I did. Plus, of course, this is a junkyard car, so I get to do a lot more work on it, which I find personally very satisfying. I don't like those wheels though. I'm probably going to change those. But I think what I'm doing now is work on this car. And we'll see what we can do with this. I did some pre-work on it already. It has this, I've already replaced the seats and the steering wheel. I don't think it has much else in the way of body parts on it at the moment. I think I did the exhaust. Yeah, I did the exhaust and I did the gas. So, I mean, I did the pre-work on it. Make sure there's not a fender in there, because I know that this mod has a piece that goes in that cutout right there. There's not one on either side of this one. Let's go ahead and clean it up so we can see better what we've got. I always like to clean it up with the welder, because if there's any body pieces that I have neglected to remove, this will make them stand out better. I keep thinking there's a window there, but there isn't. And 1% body condition, so we know that we have everything off of it. I'll go ahead and see if we can repair any of these things. Okay, let's look at these. So left fender and rear left. Actually, I can just go ahead and add these to the list. I always forget to use the list, and it really does make things easier. So we know that we want, let's see, front right fender C, and we want rear left fender C, I think it was $6,000, and left body window, so it wants left body window A, and I'm going to assume that it wants the basic windows, which might be a dangerous assumption. Go ahead and put on what I have here. Definitely gonna have to repaint this car. Let's see, right stuff. Okay, that gets us somewhere, and it makes it a little bit easier to figure out what else we need. So a bunch of C things. Rear bumper C, hood C. So that was hood C and rear bumper C. So it looks like I just need looks like the basic windows, left door, left, get the rear window and the front window and the side windows, left side mirror, left side door, Did I buy a rear window? I did. Okay. So that's getting us down to a few things now. Front end C, rear clamshell C. I saw that it wants a front and rear license plate, so let's get that. And I also think it just wanted basic headlights as well. I keep forgetting to get that left front fender. Yep, basic headlights. Left front fender C. So it looks like all we need now is the trunk lid and the tail lights. Trunk C. It also said front clamshell E. I missed that. Oh, okay. I know what that is. Got that big old wing on it. And what are these tail lights that we need? Engine cover, left tail light and right tail light. Yeah, so all we got to do is get that clamshell in there. So I have to move it from here. It almost looks like a looks like a window to the rear, to the interior through the trunk. Like there's a stereo system or something that should go in there. Who knows? So we have some brown parts that are on here, and it came black, and the factory color is purple, it looks like. Woo. That's kind of Fast and the Furious looking. Let's give it some stripes. Yeah, I think that works. Wow, that is really purple. I like it though. I like it a lot. Oh, that's really pretty. I'm really pleased with that. I may have to make a note of that. I'm going to have to make a note of that color. Naturally, it has the rear suspension, rear end, which is the most complicated one. I complain about it, but really, it's very satisfying to reassemble one of these when all the parts are nice and clean. Whoops. Because it goes from this rusty mess to it's just artwork and metal. It's gorgeous. It's really, even though it seems like a lot of work to take it all apart and to put it together for that matter, it's really satisfying to do. I wonder how much I can take off before it'll force me to take the wheel off. I think just the sway end link is like definitive as far as you can't take the wheel off without taking that off first. Yeah. It's one of those things, it's like gravity doesn't exist in this universe. The only thing holding that wheel up is the axle and the sway bar. And the sway bar isn't even hooked up on the other side. Okay, now we can process our way through all the junk. And we know that we need 16 bushings for this rear end, 8 of each kind. I'm also going to grab the rear springs. I don't recall which rear shock absorbers those were, though. If they were A, it's A. So we can go through and sell off those things. Okay, let's get the brakes. And the sway bar was rear sway bar B. I never can remember which one it is. I always have to look at it again. Rear sway bar B. Let's see, that should get us to the hubs. Gonna need the gearbox stuff. Wheel hub 3 and rear wheel hub. I always have to look and make sure I don't get rear wheel hub B when I don't need them. I get the gearbox stuff while I'm here because I know I need to buy the clutch and everything. I bet we'll have to replace that drive shaft as well. What are we down to? Just the suspension arms. Something failed. Something else failed. Looks like we repaired that drive shaft, though. Yeah, we repaired almost everything, just the two things that failed. I don't think I'm going to use those. Those are 7B. I think I'm going to use them, but I'm going to get these so that I can... I mean, the black ones, I can chrome them and they will look... I mean, they'll look the same as the other ones, but that also seems a little bit silly. I need to look at those tires too. Those tires don't seem like they fit very well. Those are 325, 35, 19. Yeah, that's a big wheel. I would like a DLC where I can install an additional set of mounting and balancing machines. Okay, let's get this. I can't wait to see what those wheels look like when they're actually on the car, nicely chromed out like that. You can see that other wheel over there is done. See how different it looks though when it's all brand new and shiny and clean, as opposed to what it looks like when it's rusted out garbage. I mean, it really sometimes gets a little bit like, wow, I'm doing another one of these things, but then you get into it and you put it all together and it looks so good, and it's like, oh, that's why you do this stuff. Make sure I got those right. 325, 35, 19. Yep. I gotta buy another gearbox too. Almost forgot. Because we repaired this so we can sell it. $750 for that. Yeah, I think that's going to look really good. Yes, definitely. The black probably looks the black rim probably looks nice too, but that looks really good with this purple. I imagine the black would look better if the car was still black. This one is going to have the front suspension A. There's a bit more to this engine, or I mean the junk engine anyway. It's got heads on it. A lot of times I get cars from the junkyard, and the engine is just it's a block and a crankshaft. And a lot of times I can't even repair those. So it's the same thing as just building a new engine from the ground up. What am I? Oh, the brakes. Alright, let's grab the engine crane, yank that hunk of junk, whoops, yank that hunk of junk out of there. And I think that this is just the standard DOHC V8 that's in here. Oh, it is a supercharged engine, okay. Good, that means this will have some oomph to it. So we only need 8 bushings, because we only have the lower suspension arms to deal with. Get rid of the tie rods and the sway bars because we can't repair any of that stuff. This front sway bar B. And sway link A because we have front suspension A. Get rid of the hubs. And that gets us down to just these things. So we'll see what we can get back here. I saw something fail. Okay. A lot of times I just buy the rack because the rack is repairable, but a lot of times you don't get it. So I just go ahead and replace it anyway. This time I decided to take a chance and see if I could repair it, but no, not that one. And these are the same tires as were on the back, so let's do that again. .325 35 19. Yeah, it's the same size as the back end. The supercharged engine is going to have a lot of power, so I hope these tires are good for it. Oh, I remember this one now. The tie rod doesn't actually connect to the steering rack here. I think that's common to all the variants of this particular GT350. And 325 35 19. Yep, got the tire size correct. I can see that the wheel balancing machine is finished already. Sometimes I think that if you stand next to it and watch it, it takes longer than if you go away and do something else. It seems like you go away and it is like, I'm done! Yeah, I like it. It's gaudy, but I like it. It just occurred to me that I need to buy a starter, because I know I'm going to need a starter. Alright. It's really starting to look like something now, isn't it? And I don't have anything in my inventory that shouldn't be there, which means we have got everything on there that should be. Good deal. So now we can get to work on this, and we already know we're gonna throw away a lot of this. Like everything that I'm taking off right now is gonna go in the trash. Are there any caps in there? Nope. Okay, so let's let's get into... Let's see if we can buy everything that we need. I've tried to do this before. For the most part, I can remember everything, but not always. This particular engine is 2 A's and 5 B's. Belt tensioner. Need the supercharger stuff, because they don't have performance superchargers. Let's see, oil V8. And it's going to be the yellow one with this pan. Piston rings. And I already noticed, I already saw I need, because V8 engines take 3 of those and 8 of these. Now this is the one thing I never can remember. No, wait. I need serpentine belt A, because the supercharger serpentine belt replaces serpentine belt B for this engine. We need head cover A and B, and we need coil covers. Pulleys, water pump and pulleys. And that's the crank pulley V8 and the water pump pulley. I think that's everything from here. Eight pistons, 8 spark plugs. I'm going to need a fuel filter and 2 of the DI fuel rails, which should be somewhere in here. There it is. Need a throttle. Going to need ignition coils. Alternator and power steering pump. Manifold, exhaust manifold for the. There's no intake manifold. Oh, the camshafts even. Because I need this exhaust these manifolds, but there's no intake manifold for the standard V8. So I have to get that from the other place. What the hell else did I just say? It was on the tip of my tongue. Because I need this manifold right here. No, I don't need that. Don't need that at all. The camshafts, that was it. And the heads. Need 4 of these, and then engine head V8. And that should be everything. If we can, if we're able to reuse this crankshaft and this block, which is by no means assured at this point. $29% on that and 34% on that. I think we'll actually get both of those back. Unless, of course, we break one of them. Failed to repair the block. Damn. So I only get $119 for that. Engine block V8, there she is. And I think that I have everything. We'll find out here in a moment. I hate when that happens. My camera sometimes gets slurped in really close and you can't get away. You have to break out and start over. Of course, this is my favorite thing about working on V8 engines on this engine stand. Clutch and everything clips into the stand. Now, for gameplay purposes, it doesn't matter, but I like to put the crankshaft bearing caps on first before I start hanging the pistons. And you wouldn't even do it like this in real life anyway. You would probably have it on a stand where you were going from the top down. But we're playing a game. I'm not trying to be super paranoid about doing stuff the right way. Although sometimes I do that when I get kind of OCD about things. That's another thing I like seeing when you put in new pistons and everything before you seal it up with the oil pan. I really like to look at it because it's just really a piece of artwork, mechanical artwork. I wish they had a transparent engine that you could run where you could see the parts moving inside. I think that would be really cool. Of course, I think the reason it's doing this to me, where it sucks the camera in close, is because this is the supercharged engine and it sticks up pretty high. And even though those parts aren't there, it's like trying to compensate for the fact that they should be there. So it pulls the camera in like this, which is annoying, but just kind of work around it since you don't really have an option. And it's a pain too because you can't get far enough back to see all of these. And I think there's actually 2 bolts behind there. No. Yeah, sometimes that's a pain in the butt. See, look, it just dragged me right in there. Yeah, see, it's holding me in close. I can't get further away. I don't know why it does this sometimes. It's really obnoxious. See, I can't even get far enough back to see this bolt right here. Okay, all done. I like doing these engines. I like doing this particular model because it's a really easy engine to do. It's an easy engine to put together, but it's an exceptional power pack. So, I mean, this is going to be like an 1100, 1200 horsepower engine. Sorry, I'm trying to get the camera back, and it is just not going. Okay, that should 100% the car, though. Yep, 100% across the board. Cool. So now we can test it and see what kind of a beast we have built here. Wasn't strictly necessary to lower it all the way down manually, but I felt like watching it, because I felt like watching it touch the floor. Usually you can see the car kind of settle, and it worked that time too. This looks really nice. I like it a lot. Wow, that's a beautiful color. I definitely have to make a note of it. So we're starting with 793 horsepower here. For 1,474. Good lord. What would it be to double it? 6, 18, 1,586 would be doubling the power. So 1,586, it's like 112 horsepower short of doubling the maximum power. It's nuts. This thing is going to be absolutely uncontrollable. We'll find out here in a minute. I'm going to take it over here so I can write down these numbers. Okay, notes written down. So we are prepared now to go for a drive. It looks good in here. It's definitely got a manual transmission. But then you would kind of expect that. I still wish you could close the door from the inside. It's strange to me that you can't close the door from the inside. Alright, off to the speed track. And this one. Okay, here we are. Let's take a look at it here. Man, that's a good color. Wow. I am really pleased with that. It looks so good. I mean, I like the Mustang and the various variants that have come out on it. I'm not a big fan of the flared wheel wells and stuff, but I can see where they're going for what they're going for with this. And it's got all of the air effects on the front air dam and the side skirts there. I think, yeah, I know I got the correct rear bumper on it. It seems like that should go, like that flange should go further around. Let's see if we can keep this thing in a straight line. It's trying really hard to get away from me. Oh, 186 looks like we've maxed it out. No, 188. 188. It's not the fastest one I've ever done. See, look at that. It went nuts when it went nuts when I didn't have control of the car anymore. The fastest car I ever did is still that Diablo, which went like 216 miles an hour. 188 is nothing to sneeze at. So yeah, that's definitely a nice, fast, lunatic car. Okay, doke. So we have finished the car and I've driven it and we didn't die. So we can sell this thing, see how much it's worth now. And I really should have looked, but we're up around 260. Well, let's see, that's 9 plus 5 is 14, carry the 1, $274,000. 275. Okay, yeah. So that's like the other two trucks that I sold that were about 250 grand each, and the 959 was 1.3 million. So this is like the three vehicles that weren't Porsches are about $750,000. So yeah, works for me. So cool. That'll wrap this up then. Next time we'll do that Colorado there and see what it looks like when it's all nicely cleaned up. And then we'll go to the unless of course we go to the junkyard and find something else even more interesting to work on. So, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope to see you again for our next junkyard adventure. So on that note, bye for now.